Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day to you, depending where you are in the world. We're doing a nighttime devotion from the devotional Maranatha. The title today, How the Image to the Beast Evolves. The scripture reading is from Revelation 13:12. He exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. In order for the United States to form an image of the beast, the religious power must so control the civil government that the authority of the state will also be employed by the church to accomplish her own ends. The image to the beast represents that form of apostate Protestantism which will be developed when the Protestant churches shall seek the aid of the civil power for the enforcement of their dogmas. When Sunday observance shall be enforced by law, and the world shall be enlightened concerning the obligation of the true Sabbath, then whoever shall transgress the command of God to obey a precept which has no higher authority than that of Rome will thereby honor popery above God. He is paying homage to Rome and to the power which enforces the institution ordained by Rome. He is worshipping the beast and his image. As men then reject the institution which God has declared to be the sign of his authority and honor in its stead that which Rome has chosen as the token of her supremacy, they will thereby accept the sign of allegiance to Rome, the mark of the beast. And it is not until the issue is thus plainly set before the people that they are brought to choose between the commandments of God and the commandments of men, that those who continue in transgression will receive the mark of the beast. In the issue of the contest, all Christendom will be divided into two great classes: those who keep the commandments of God and have the faith of Jesus, and those who worship the beast and his image and receive his mark. Although church and state will unite their power to compel all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive the mark of the beast, yet the people of God will not receive it. The prophet of Patmos beholds them that had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark and over the number of his name stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of God and singing the song of Moses and the Lamb. That's taken from Revelation 15. That should, I hope, clearly explain the whole issue that is going on about the mark of the beast. What is the mark of the beast? A microchip or this or that? Something planted in your forehead, something planted in your right hand? No. This clearly explains. But before we get there, we're speaking about the beast, the first beast. If we go to when we had Revelation 13:12, the scripture reading at the beginning, it says, the power of the first beast causeth the earth and them which dwelleth therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Now, if you remember, we had the horns, the 10 horns in the beast, 3 were uprooted, and a little horn emerged. That little horn represents the papacy. Now, that papacy is the beast. And then it says at some point the beast was wounded nearly unto death. And here in this scripture reading, it says, worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. So that beast, the papacy, at the time of the French Revolution, the Pope was taken captive. And therefore the papacy became null and void, and that Pope died in prison. And then there was no more papacy, so to speak. But it didn't die. The movement still continued. It just went underground. And then I do believe it was in around about 1920, Mussolini reinstated the papacy, or something to that description. And this is where the wound was healed. Now, it's not completely healed, but it's where it's given its power back. So the Bible is very true in its detail, but obviously it uses images and symbols. So now we'll carry on. In order for the United States to form an image of the beast, the United States are going to work with the papacy. Now, if you notice, the Pope now is an American. And Trump supposedly is Christian. Christian or Catholic, they don't go together. And I'm sorry if you're Catholic, but all right, I'm not going to say Catholics. I'm going to say the Catholic Church or the papacy are not Christian. They're Satanists. Yes, I said that. They are Satanists. They worship Satan. And if you know all about, or if you ever hear about, or you can even look into all the different rituals they have to do just to be ordained priests, and let alone all the other stuff they have to do after that. You can also question why so many children go missing in all the countries around the world every year. The image of the beast represents the form of apostate Protestantism. And I've said this before, Protestant churches are supposed to protest against the Catholic Church. And yet all of these churches, supposedly Protestant, are actually siding with the church, worshipping on the Sunday, which the Catholic Church instituted as the day of worship. You're paying homage. If you worship on a Sunday, you're paying homage to Rome, because Rome put this day in place as a day of worship. This not the Sabbath. So it says, in the issue of the contest of Christendom, it will be divided into 2 great classes, those who keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus and keep the true Sabbath. Not the true Sabbath even, keep the Sabbath. And there'll be those who worship the beast and his image by worshipping on a Sunday. And those who do not keep the commandments of God and have the faith of Jesus will receive the mark of the beast. Now, this is a spiritual thing, not a physical thing. But those who receive the seal of God will stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of God, singing the song of Moses and the Lamb. That's from Revelation 15.